This conference will now be recorded.
All right, it's 6 o'clock. We'll start the zoning board meeting for October 17th of 2023. Our applicants for our first case aren't here, so if everyone's on board, we'll move on to the second case. This one is a little bit confusing because of the way everything kind of shook out. So it's a motion for a rehearing, which there's no testimony into it other than what was submitted by the applicant for their request for the rehearing. And then we as a board decide whether enough information has been presented that we think we should rehear the case. We voted on this last.
Can you just introduce, I know you
yeah,
called me into order. You do have a new member.
Yeah.
Jim is here. Maybe just for the record, because we have also a new minute taker. So if you wouldn't mind, if you just introduce the members of the board and introduce the alternate.
Wait, that? Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I don't know your full
name. Stephen Bunce.
Steve Bunce is our alternate who's going to be voting a little bit tonight. Jim Crosby. Brian Pease, myself, Matt Gilman, Ann Miranda, and Chuck Mitchell. Is that what you needed? Perfect. Oh, yes, perfect. We're moving on to the second case just because we're a little bit. No worries. So there were only 3 of us at the meeting last time, and we voted 2-1 to rehear it, mostly on the grounds that the board wasn't here, and we felt that in lieu of the board not being here, kind of defer to more options. But actually, we got some feedback back from the town lawyer, and I'll read this into the record here. This is from Stephen Buckley, the Legal Services Counsel. Good morning, Leanne. RSA 674:33-2 states that the concurring vote of any 3 members of the board shall be necessary to take any action on any matter on which it is required to pass. One of the necessary things the ZBA must take action on is whether to grant or deny a motion for rehearing. Therefore, when voting on whether to grant or deny a motion for rehearing, there must be at least 3 concurring votes to either grant or deny the motion for rehearing. Since this vote was 2 in favor and 1 opposed, in effect, no decision was made, and the ZBA must reconvene at another meeting to decide to grant or deny the motion for rehearing with at least 3 votes in favor or 3 opposed. That other meeting should be scheduled so the board complies with RSA 677:3, so the board acts on the motion within 30 days of receiving it. So long story short, it is basically as though we didn't do anything the last meeting. So we as a board have to decide whether we're going to rehear the case. It's a little bit of a tough one for you to step in on your first vote because you didn't hear the last case. So I'm not sure how that kind of plays out, but yeah, that's true. But he wanted to recuse himself anyways. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess it'll just be the 4 of us. Is that the appropriate way to handle that?
Well, I got a full board here.
I think Steve can vote if he's given enough information, or he can choose that he doesn't have enough information and he can abstain. So I think if you go through it, I would defer to if you're going to make him a voting member, and he can decide, I would think, whether he has enough information to make a decision, or if he can abstain if he feels he doesn't, because he wasn't here when the initial vote was taken. So that's my recommendation.
New to us to have an alternate. We've never had enough people to make an alternate, so figuring that out.
So one more thing, because I know you never had an alternate, so you should, for the record, state that
he's a voting member.
He's a voting member for this case only, and then Jim will return as a as the voting member. Okay.
Sounds good. Well, then we will formally have you be a voting member for rehearing the appeal on a rehearing for Francis Pellerin of 142 East Main Street, his mixed-use zoning board decision. So the background, I don't know how much background, I've given some background on it. I haven't done that, sorry. So we had an applicant who wanted to use his commercial business. He wanted to use it in a way that the town zoning doesn't allow. It's a landscape maintenance building operation that he runs out of over on East Main Street here at the end. He wanted to be able to work on automobiles out of it. That's not allowed in the mixed use district. He came to us for his zoning appeal and it was denied. And he's asking us to rehear the case. Denied based on hardship, if I remember correctly.
So I'm just voting to say yes, so you guys vote later, right?
We're going to vote as a body on whether or not we want to rehear this case.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Rehear it. That's all we're doing is time.
That's all we're doing. Not talking about whether he gets the variance, any of that sort of thing, just whether we think there's enough information been presented to rehear the case.
Cool.
And there's no testimony from the applicant or anything. It's just this letter that they've submitted. Okay. Everybody on board? Good with what's going on?
Yeah, and I think I can vote to that too.
You're comfortable voting? Oh, okay.
With that.
Okay.
That part of it, because
Okay.
there's no decision.
Right.
Right,
It's
it's not-
whether
Well,
it's
there's a
rehear-
decision to rehear it or not rehear it.
rehear or not rehear.
Right.
So if he's comfortable voting, then we can only have 5, right?
Right.
Okay.
So if he's, yes.
Just kidding.
Well, I guess, were you recusing yourself because you weren't at the meeting, or were you recusing yourself because you have a connection with GTM?
I have a connection with GTM. I've hired him in the past. He's done good work. I would hire him again. That's not the issue. The issue is that I have a connection with him. And I don't know if that's enough of a reason to recuse myself, but I'm also not familiar with the case because I wasn't here.
So it becomes a personal decision.
Yeah,
So
that's your choice.
Okay. I would recuse myself on the decision,
Okay, so you want to vote tonight?
but recuse myself on the decision.
Okay, so you'd like to recuse yourself from this vote
From,
tonight?
from the decision for this vote, yes.
Okay, all right. So
Yeah.
continuing like we were.
Okay.
Okay. So the letter we got from September 5th of 2023, which was the applicant's motion or request to be reheard for the appeal, was Town of Tilton / zoning board. I purchased this building because it was set up with 2 garage bays with plenty of room inside to work on different things. When I purchased the building, it was already set up to be an automotive shop, and it still is. I'm very organized and well-rounded in the business industry. I'm interested in automotive for my shop foreman, who has, without a doubt, proved to me he wants to improve the company by expanding into a new revenue, which is needed because my landscaping company is seasonal. We struggle over the winter months. If the board denies me the right to run an automotive shop, I will be forced to buy another building in the area, which will cause me hardship. To not only lose valuable employees from the move, but also everything invested in this property, along with the visibility I get from this beautiful location in Tilton. Furthermore, this property would allow equipment repairs along with ATVs and boats. I'm looking for something more simple than that and on a smaller scale and less noticeable. Not constructing building. It is a pre-existing repair shop. This is a reasonable use given the existing building. Per the new interpretation of hardship, it is now considered reasonable. And then he's quoting something here. It doesn't say from where. But whereas before Simplex, hardship existed only when special conditions of the land rendered it uniquely unsuitable for the use which it was zoned. After Simplex, hardship exists when special conditions of the land render the use for which the variance is sought, quote, reasonable. And it's signed Prince, I apologize, I can't pronounce the name. Pellerin, Mr. Pellerin.
Yeah, it was from the New Hampshire zoning laws.
Yeah.
Because I looked that up myself.
Looked it up.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in any thoughts anyone has here.
So tonight is we're deciding whether to rehear the
Correct.
decision.
Make a brief comment. I believe that the decision that we made the first time, based on the information that we had at that time, was an appropriate decision. I also feel that the letter submitted here is indirectly the same as adding information about an appeal, which I don't believe is permitted under the state. So I would suggest that I'm personally going to vote against it because I think this board has an equal opportunity to support the town codes. And if the code should be changed, then that's I think is the proper mechanism. I think that is our responsibility. And I do have sympathy for this gentleman. And I understand why he would want to do that. My heart says one thing, but I think my responsibility is to enforce the codes.
Thank you. Just for a point of clarification, in the appeal process, the applicant is allowed to submit new information. That is the point of the appeal process, is they can bring something that they discovered after the decision was made and say, I learned this, I think you should rehear it because of what I learned. So he has not done anything wrong in what he has submitted. That's how that process works. But everything else, I totally understand your opinion.
And just to clarify, on that property, he can repair boats, ATVs, excavators, bobcats, but not automobiles.
Anything but cars. I did a little reading about this, and this is what I found expanding on this simplex thing here. And this is my feeling why I feel we should rehear it. I feel like our interpretation of hardship was too strict. They quote out of this here: "We believe our definition of unnecessary," this is the state. "We believe our definition of unnecessary hardship has become too restrictive in the light of constitutional protections by which it must be tempered. In consideration of these protections, therefore, we depart today from the restrictive approach that has defined unnecessary hardship and adopt an approach more considerate of the constitutional right to enjoy property. The Supreme Court's decision represents a significant change in the law regarding variances. However, contrary, it does not turn the law on its head. Rather, it represents the latest stage in the continuing evolution of this one particular aspect of zoning law." So in my feeling, that kind of, I was the one dissenting vote against it. I felt like we were too hard on the hardship piece, and I do believe we should rehear it.
More discussion.
But if there's no more discussion, we can take a motion to.
So I'll make an motion to rehear U4-59 for Francis Pellerin.
Is that the lot number, not the case number?
Where is it?
Probably rehear.
It's not on
Grant the appeal of the zoning board decision of 8/15/2023. Is that probably how we should word that? That word his motion. Grant the rehearing probably, because we're not.
No, we're not granting, you're right. Grant the rehearing, but there's got to.
23-14.
I don't know if I have the case. I gotta look at the case number.
Oh, wait a minute.
ZBA 23-14. Yeah, thank you. So I'm making a motion to rehear ZBA 23-14.
Been made. Any seconds? Made and seconded. Any discussion on the motion?
No. No.
Steve.
Steve seconded. And then I was just gonna say on a roll call, there was some question about that last time. Okay. So I've never done a roll call vote before. Okay, sure.
Happy to do a roll call. Okay, so Chuck Mitchell,
No.
Ann Miranda,
Yes.
Brian Pease,
Yes.
Steve Bunce,
Yes.
and Matt Gilman.
Yes.
That's 4-1 to rehear. Again, that doesn't change anything.
Motion to rehear is approved.
Is approved.
All right.
So that will be scheduled, has to be scheduled in 30 days. So it will come up at the next zoning board meeting.
And at that time, he can present any evidence and talk.
Right, we'd be
Yeah.
rehearing it.
Yeah, we're rehearing it. Yep.
That'll be the November 21st is our next meeting.
Before Thanksgiving?
Okay.
Well,
We're gonna swap voters now.
yeah.
Can I ask you just a procedural question? You said November 21st is the next meeting, but I believe it has to happen within 30 days.
Right, is that 30 days?
I
Oh,
think you're going to see that exceeds 30
Exceeds
days.
30.
Yeah, today's the
We'll have to
Today's the
17th.
17th
Today's 17th
And there's 31 days in the month.
of October.
We'll have to schedule one.
So it'd have to be November 16th is the 30th day.
Well, do you guys on board if we work on scheduling this after we hear the
The next
Case.
applicant?
what's the next applicant? Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Fine.
I'm going to present. Did you bring your application? Okay, all right, it's okay.
We realized we're like, oh my God, she's just the number.
Okay, here's your application. Whoever's going to read it, if you go up there and press the light so the red light is on. Here, so if you want to come up. Yep. Sure this mic is on. And you'll just read Well, first you can explain what you're doing,
Yes.
and then you can just read the questions into the record, okay?
Do we have to formally move back our voters, Leanne? We have to formally move back from Steve to Jim. Okay. Cool. Thank you for your help. We're gonna go back to normal, and Jim will be voting on this one.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. We will now move on to case, I lost my numbers here.
17.
ZB 23-17.
Hello this evening, folks.
Hello.
I believe I was here probably 2 or 3 years ago, and we built a beautiful garage up there, and I think the neighbors, everyone is pleased, and I hope some of you guys get a chance to drive up to the neighborhood. It pretty much matches up with the house and colors and everything, and it's finished nice.
Could you just
Yep.
read your name and
Oh,
address?
I'm Jeff McDonald. This is my wife, Jennifer. We're the owners up at 16 Vista Heights. And we appreciate the original build. It was in the right area because of the flatness of that area of the lot. And I think originally before it, we didn't know that it had to be in the front setback. And when that monkey wrench got thrown in 2 or 3 years ago, my original drawing had a lean-to on both sides, but I think one's fine. And that's what we reapplied, because I think when it became a zoning board thing before, I just got a quick drawing in of the garage itself, and it didn't have the lean-tos. I came back and checked with this lady. I said, do we have lean-tos on that side of that drawing originally for the original variance? And she says no. So that's why we're here. We'll make it, structurally sound. That's my job. And, with the code enforcement gentleman, and it'll look great. It'll look good. The variance is requested to add a 12 by 30 lean-to on the left side when facing from the front of the newly built garage, which is located in what is considered to be the front setback of the property. And there's a drawing attached. Excuse me. And the facts supporting this request, we are adding to the existing structure. No additional modifications to the lot are needed. The roof line will be below that of the existing structure, so it will not obstruct the neighbor's views. It will be built to match the current garage and house with siding and roofing. It will create a covered entry into the garage entrance, and will enhance the appearance of that side of the building. Excuse me. It will provide additional dry storage space and keep the entry door under cover. And number 4, it will further enhance the appearance of the garage and the yard. Number 5 on the next page, we're already granted a variance to build the garage in the space, and we simply would like to add to the side of the structure closest to the house and create additional storage, as well as a dry entry area. Okay. The proposed use is a reasonable one, because the way the garage is located, there is ample space to add the lean-to without further changing the ground around the structure, and it will not be any closer to the road or take up much more of the property footprint. Okay. B, the garage location and surrounding ground make it a reasonable place to add the lean-to. It will be built to any applicable codes and will match the garage and house exteriors. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you pouring a foundation for it?
I don't think so. Yeah, just
Set
the
enough
big,
posts.
it'll be 4 big posts, probably 6 by 6s and out that way. And I'll probably have a little, so they're still driving up. We'll have some siding on that backside facing the road, just the exact siding that's on the rear gable facing the road now, just to, if there is stuff in there, tractor or wood or stuff like that, they won't have to view it all. So we'll close in the side facing the road and stuff.
Yeah, you have it dug out right now. I seen it.
That's
when I
right,
went by.
yeah.
Yeah, because I went by tonight before
Yeah.
I came.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
so I
good.
seen it dug out already.
Yeah. Yeah, it was dug out when we did the original thing, just because that 2 had a little bit of a grade, and in order to get everything flat, we pulled it back there. So I'll probably put some, retaining wall stuff there when
Right.
we get it,
Yeah.
hopefully get it built.
Okay, thank you.
And is this
Any-
going like from towards lot 17? Am I understanding its location on the, like it's getting built
It's
out?
going up, yeah, if you're
Up the
looking
hill,
up Vista
yeah.
Heights.
Up the
yes.
hill,
Up
up
the
like
hill.
up Vista Heights. Basically.
That's right,
Yeah.
yeah, on the upper side.
About how far does that extend into the setback zones? That I was not here for the application 2 years ago, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think he
the
has
history
plenty
of
of room.
I don't think he went into
He
the
didn't,
setback.
he did
Right,
not go
yeah, I
in.
don't think
no.
he did, no.
So he got a variance because, sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
speak
go ahead.
Brian.
No.
You can't build in front of your house. But his house was set back, his yard was sloped, if I remember right, and he couldn't really get it on the backside of his house. The only
Okay.
place he had to put it was between his house and the road.
So he's not within any of the setbacks?
No, I think we're still,
Yeah,
excuse
so-
me, plenty on, to the road and to the side quite a bit.
That's what I saw.
Thank you.
And in my drive-by, I noticed the 2 of what looked like carports in the neighborhood. So the predominant fixture is actually garage. But in this instance, I don't think it would be that much different than a garage. And there were, without walking on property, there may have been 1 or 2 other structures that were also carports.
Yeah.
But they faced away from the road, so it was impossible to see if they were carports or not. So I think it's within the zone, the neighborhoods.
Mhm.
It's the
limits.
Fits the neighborhood. Yeah, that's what we were thinking when we granted the garage,
Mhm.
that it fit the neighborhood. And the only setback problem was, or it was in front of the house, wasn't a.
Any other questions for him?
Mhm.
No? Any other, no butters emailed in or mailed in or anything? Everybody good if we close the public's portion and deliberate amongst ourselves?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We'll close the public portion. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. This fits the building that he's building.
Yeah.
Fits the neighborhood.
Mhm.
It's not huge. He's got lots of space.
Yeah.
Still within the setbacks, except for the front building in front of the house.
He's still boxed in by his same slopes of his house.
Yep.
Lot land rather.
Like you said, it fits the neighborhood, what's going on in the neighborhood.
All right, you guys want to go through
Yep.
everybody good to go through the 5?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm. I am.
All right, granting the variance would not be contrary to the public interest. Comments?
No.
I
agree.
think it's there. I don't,
Yeah.
like we just talked about,
Mhm.
it fits the neighborhood.
Yep.
House is set back. If the variance were granted, the spirit of the ordinance would be observed.
Yep.
Good, yeah, I
Yep.
agree. The spirit of the ordinance is to keep people from cluttering their houses up and keep neighborhoods tidy, and they certainly have done that. Granting the variance would do substantial justice.
Yep.
I agree.
Yep.
That, like we said, the way his lot's laid out, lets him use his land reasonably. He's already got the building there. If the variance were granted, the values of the surrounding properties would not be diminished. I didn't
Agree.
see any evidence.
I didn't see any evidence of that.
Evidence. No.
Unnecessary hardship, owing to a special condition of the property that distinguishes it from other properties in the area, denial of variance would result in an unnecessary hardship because no fair and substantial relationship exists between the general public purposes of the ordinance provision and the specific application of that provision to the property. I agree. Just like you said, that neighborhood is a tough lot back there, and if we'd forced them to put a garage there in the first time, wouldn't have really worked out. The proposed use is a reasonable one.
Yes.
Yep, agree.
Putting a small carport on certainly makes sense. That's all 5 of them.
Yep.
If anyone wants to make a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept ZB 23-17 for Arlene 2, 12 by 30 on the left side of the garage.
Motion's been made,
I'll second the motion.
made and seconded. Any further discussion? We can just do this one, right? You know, yeah. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. All right, I heard 3
Did you say aye?
votes.
I didn't.
Oh,
Did I hear 3 votes and 2 abstains? Is that what I?
I voted.
You voted in favor?
Yeah.
So 4 in favor and 1 abstain?
I'll vote in favor.
okay, so all 5.
So 5 in favor. All right. Most of the variance passes. Thank you.
Good luck. Good luck. Thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah.
You too.
You too.
Take care. Happy holidays.
And then as far as the minutes go,
Minutes, where are they?
I
The
can't
only
accept them
thing-
because I wasn't here.
yeah, the only thing that I don't know if we have to catch Leanne is that the minutes say the motion failed, but the motion didn't anything.
That's the statement that we made at the time, so the record showed that the
That we
board,
didn't
and
pass it.
we said it failed. I didn't change that because we didn't know that at the time, so hopefully the record will show from this meeting of why it's meeting again.
I'll move approval of the minutes.
Made a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second the motion to approve them.
Brian seconds it. Any discussion about that?
Nope.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, the minutes are accepted. Then other business, we got to find a date that we can
A date.
get together.
It's going to be on a Tuesday that I believe, in checking my calendar, it would need to be on the 13th.
That's a Monday. I can do
Excuse me.
a Monday if that's better for
I'm
people.
sorry. 7 days before the 21st.
Is the 14th.
14th would be.
Prefer a Tuesday, everyone? It doesn't matter to me.
I'll endeavor to make it happen.
Tuesday the 14th?
Well, if that's the day you can meet, so planning board meets on the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of the month. So we'd have 2 land use boards meeting the same night,
Okay.
which I can't be at both meetings.
Okay.
Okay.
How about the 13th then?
13th also works for me.
13th is not conservation.
No, I'm looking at the calendar, Jim. Conservation Commission's the 3rd Monday, and that's the 20th.
20th, okay.
I don't think there's any other boards meeting that besides conservation, right? So you're the only ones ever here on Monday?
Yeah, but that would be the 20th.
Yeah, okay.
So we're okay.
So we're looking at
Here?
13th.
here. Yep, we're meeting here from now on unless for some reason something happens. So we're looking at Monday,
November 13th.
November 13th at 6 o'clock, right?
Unless
Yeah.
unless anyone needs anything different. No?
No.
All right.
And we're having the regular meeting on the 21st.
The following week.
Very good.
Unless, and the only time is if we have no applicants.
Right.
So if you do this and then no other applicants come in, then you might only have the one meeting. So, but I'll let you know.
And then the only other business is that this is Ann's last meeting with us.
Oh,
She's moving out of town.
oh,
So I would imagine he would move into that role. I don't know how that.
Well, he'll be able to
We're
move
still
into
on-
that
We're
role
still on TV. aren't
in
we?
the absence
Oh, should I-
of Ann. So if
meeting.
Oh, okay.
if the next meeting Ann's not here, which sounds like she won't be,
Yeah.
then he can move in still as the alternate. But it's the Board of Selectmen that will have to appoint him to a full-time position, which is really, I think, just a process. But this board does do that. But you'll do it anyway, because if you're here as the alternate and there's an empty chair, then you'll be sitting in.
Yeah.
So, and I will notify the selectmen. They have a meeting this week and they possibly can take that action Thursday. So we'll be all set, and maybe we'll get another alternate, an alternate for all of one meeting. But I guess it's nice having it because now we still have a full board. So that's nice. So thank you, Steve, for stepping up.
Anyone have anything else?
No,
Move to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn,
I'll second it.
made and seconded.
A second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The meeting is adjourned at 6:30.
Oh,
I don't know if that's still recording or not.
Steve, I'm going to give you this folder. It has the rules of procedure for the zoning.
Okay,
Oh,
great.
you have an extra, oh, perfect.
Thank you.
This conference will now be recorded.
Oops.